Everything is not funny. They will blame the boss. I play. My neighbor press one. He goes the apart.
ABC, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
This one like today is all tumbling. I will do water. Everything is not funny. They will blame the boss. I play. My neighbor press one. He goes the apart.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Nazes, okay, speaking to you. Today being Thursday, the 16th of June, 2022, from the ground zero. How are you doing today? And may I know where you are watching me from? Today is another day. It's one of those engagements that I would rather get out of. But again, duty calls that we know when some of these things happen that we come and put these into perspective. Honestly speaking, I would want not to speak about this, but be that as it may, I cannot run away from this because it is something that must be spoken about. I say once more, my name is Mazezoke, and you are onto Njenge Media TV. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means, do. The algorithm, the YouTube algorithm that I do see tells me that over 52% of those who watch me on YouTube keep coming back without subscribing. Then I say, what would I do to make you change your mind? Just tell me what I will do in the comment section to make you change your mind to subscribe. Because obviously, you keep coming back to the contents that I create, that we create here, that we drop here. Okay, so what is it that you want us to do before you could click that subscribe button that costs you no money? Only do just subscribe, so that when we come online, you will be one of those, you'll be one of the first to know, and notification. Recall that whenever you click on the subscribe button, please ensure that you click on the notification button as well. So again, I have Emmanuel Eze, I have from South Africa, I have Remix. Good evening, Mazi. P2B can't do anything with current 99 constitution, obviously. Obiano 10 says, Guten Abend, my brother. I say, dann sage ich dir auch, Guten Abend. Wie geht's dir? 6th Avenue by Mr. Lems, Figure of Nature. Wow, 6th Avenue by Mr. Lems. That is my area. I was born in Fege Onitsha and I grew up in Fege Onitsha. So Ezioku Bondo is watching from Onitsha. A very good evening. Ikem Chude is watching also. Now, people, can we get to the issue at hand this evening? Greetings from South Africa. That is Kenneth Ejike. You know, before I start, let me put it this way. I would have wished that I have the telephone number of Mbaka. I know he doesn't grant press interview, but I would have wished that I have his telephone number, that I can speak to him, because I must note that his latest outburst, 1, was unnecessary, 2, was honestly below the belt, 3 was, I don't know, very unkind to say. I do not agree that we must keep abusing and washing our dirty linens in the public, as it were. But for those of you who do not know the timeline of what is happening or what has happened, I will take my time, go through the timeline with video evidences, then I'll make my conclusion. So this evening, I'm going to be talking about the verbal attack, the verbaceous attack by Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka from Enugu, who has once again attacked the person of Mr. Peter Obi. And also we look at, finally, Atiku Abubakar Alaji has picked a vice president or a vice president running mate in the person of the current governor of Delta State, Atiku Okowa. You know, I think there is a strategy here. There is a strategy in the madness. The strategy here is you do not, you know, knowing that the Southeasterners would be very, very angry with the PDP, it appears the PDP has accepted that they are going to lose the Southeast. That is a strategy. But in losing the Southeast, this PDP hope to get at least 30 to 50% from the South by picking Atiku Okowa, whom many of the Southeasterners or the old Eastern region would have some affinity to by the virtue of the fact that he is Onyibo. You know, when I say that he is Onyibo, that he is a, you know, his ancestry is Igbo. By name, he is Atiku Okowa. Now, and he has never denied his ancestry. You can see that he is also initiated in the Ozo title, hence the reason why he has that red card. So, and this is because many who do not understand, if you go back to the 1960 to 1967, Delta State was never part of the old Eastern region, which eventually became the Republic of Biafra. But when the massacre of 1967 happened, when the Asaba massacre happened, you ask yourself, how could the people who never identified themselves as the Republic of Biafra, yet the massacre led by the murderers, Murtala Mohammed, eventually happened in that area? It shows you it happened because of one thing, because of their ancestries. Take it, you do with it with whatever you want, but that is fact. What we do here is to dish out verifiable fact. Then I say once more, Obi James, John N., Obi James, Emmanuel Eze, Ike Chudi, all of you, I say to you, good evening to all of you. So let me start. Now, if you recall that sometime in 2019, Peter Obi, then the vice presidential candidate of the PDP, running with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, went to the adoration ground. That is, adoration ground is where Mbaka holds his service in Enugu, a suburb of Enugu, known in this time and age. I think it's now Emene. It was before outside, in the town center. Now, when Peter Obi visited, bear attention, Ganduje was there, Gandola, and they pledged certain amount of money. Hope Uzodinma, the now governor of Imo State, was there, who pledged to build hospital in that place if eventually Buhari wins. People, that promise made by Hope Uzodinma, many of us, myself included, and I have no apologies, and I'll say that till tomorrow because I called it 419 promise. That promise will never be kept, and that promise was never kept. When it came to the turn of Mr. Peter Obi, Mbaka requested that Peter Obi mentions a figure. And anyone who has ever come close to Mr. Peter Obi knows that he would rather do things without blowing his trumpet. He openly told Father Mbaka, I will do something. Father Mbaka said, no, say it open, say it open. He said, you know I'm a Catholic. You know my sister is also my sister, blood sister, same mother, same father. He's also a reverend father in the Catholic. That he is promising him on his honor, he will do something. Anyone, any sensible human being would have thought at that point that the best thing to do would be to say, okay, Mr. P2B, okay, then eventually come and do and keep your promise. But Mbaka got irritated because he did not want to do like every other politician. He didn't want to do like Hope Uzodinma. He didn't want to do like Ganduje. He didn't want to do like others that came. Mbaka got angry. You can see that is the reason why Peter is different. If he can stand here there in the adoration ground and say, I am not going to do it the way every other person does it, I am going to do something different. It means that is a reason why to accord him some slack and some respect. Again, after that, Mbaka apologized. His prophecy was that Buhari was going to win. His prophecy was that they will fail. But hey, eventually, every one of us knew the election was, some argue, rigged. It has gone the way it has gone. The rest is now history. Now ask yourself, 3 years later, how come suddenly Reverend Father A.G. Mbaka suddenly comes up again and begin to dig and want to say some unkind things against P2B? Why? Okay, I'll take us down the memory line again. 2 days ago, the video of Mbaka apologizing to P2B started trending online. Anyone with any iota of gray matter in between the skull will understand that sometimes you can do videos, it doesn't trend. But all of a sudden, sometimes I don't know how it happens. Personally, I have known videos that I have done. Many of you who have seen the video of my interview with P2B in his bedroom, where it was an impromptu visit. It was an impromptu video. The video was not scheduled to be done. But in doing that video, you would understand the type of man the man in question is. That video was done first week of January 2022 in Onitsha. That video was posted second week of January 2022. That video never trended. Go to Njenje Media, the video is there. That video started trending in the last 2 weeks. That was a video that was made in January, never trended. Nobody cared to watch that video. But suddenly that video started trending since 2 weeks now. What does that tell you? Sometimes videos do trend by some, I don't know, I cannot explain the algorithm sometimes that it starts trending. Now, this video that I will show us, suddenly, since 2 days ago, started trending. Rather than for Mbaka to understand that this is something he said in his own altar, in his own church, Father Mbaka took offense that video was trending and started attacking Peter as if Peter shared the video or Peter forced the video to trend. What was the video all about? The video was Mbaka basically understanding, or rather the church, according to him, he said that the church forced him to apologize, that the bishop, or rather his own bishop, forced him to apologize to Mr. P2B. Therefore, because he then apologized, in that video, he's now saying, he just is basically saying whatever he's saying there. That it wasn't, that his apology was not intentional, that he was coerced, that he was forced to apologize. The only thing that actually came to mind is, if a reverend father that preaches love, if a reverend father that preaches love, that preaches forgiveness, after even apologizing and P2B forgave him and moved on, appeared to be still holding grudges against the same person he offended and the same person he apologized to, he then puts into question what manner of sermon he preaches in his church and what manner of sermon he would want people then to listen. Now, here is the video in question, and I want us to, honestly listen to this and be the judge. Mbaka, now let's hear your apology. Here he said, in Igbo, I'll translate for the greater number of my viewers who are non-Igbos. He started by saying, rather than this type of visit, please do not visit again, insinuating that Peter Obi visited him and that visit had brought so much noise around his place of worship. But who created that noise? That noise was not created by Peter. That noise was created by Reverend Father Mbaka. Some of you are saying should stop calling him Reverend Father. But again, you see, that is the thing. Irrespective of what we think, to his members, to his title, he's still a Reverend Father. But to me, he might be something else, maybe not even different from Odumeja or Oduhaija. Some of you will take offense even in that comparison. So Mbaka, come on, go ahead. What's happening? Mbaka, go ahead now. What's happening? Mbaka, go. Okay, it appears something is frozen here. Hold on, let me take that out and bring that back in. Okay, let's try once more and see if we can get Mbaka to speak. Because it is good that we put these timelines, that we put these things on, so everyone watching can actually understand what is at play here. Okay, go ahead now.
Some of you may be expecting me to write something and put it online or join the attacking group or the defensive group. It's not my job. I don't have time to waste. I'm not even a priest of social media. It may surprise you to hear that I don't even have a personal Facebook. So all these things I'm hearing, I don't even know about them. Meanwhile, on behalf of myself, Reverend Father Mbaka Ejike Camelus, the servant and the spiritual director of this adoration ministry, Enugu, Nigeria. I wish to apologize humbly to the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, who came here on Sunday for bazaar. In any way, shape, or form, my utterances and actions on that bazaar induced, initiated, or prompted derogatory remarks, criticisms, unhealthy attack to his personality. I don't intend any of this. All I said on that day, I never meant to insult him, nor to bring his political career down. My intention is simply to support the work of God. If my actions exhibited this manner or any unhealthy attitude that provoked even himself and those who love him, that brought about all these verbal attacks, I am asking whoever was or is or will be hurt to please and please forgive me. Henceforth, I will equally encourage your adorers to keep focused on Christ, whom we worship here.
Now you have watched Father Ejike Mbaka. Now you have watched him. From his own confession in the next video, that every single thing he said in this video was concocted. In his own admission, everything he said in this video was under duress. In his own admission, everything he said in this video, he never meant it. You know, I sit down here listening to him in this video, listening to the second video he made on Tuesday, 2 days ago. Then I'm struggling, honestly, to reconcile that this man in question should have the appendage of a reverend father. Why? Because just like I criticized President Muhammadu Buhari when he took over government, that he governed, that or rather that when we started accusing him of loopsidedness, my argument is that any sound parent who has 6 children and you have 24 items to share to your 6 children, each one of them will get 4. But when you came the first time, you gave each one of them 1 and you jumped the first one, the last child. You came the second one, you jumped the last child. You came the third time. You have failed in parenting without taking into account the emotional stability of that child, for not remembering that child in your first round of sharing, second round of sharing, and third round of sharing. That means that individual is not fit to be an adult. If I put this in the context of this Father Ejike Mbaka, I struggle, one, to see him as a sound human being, talk less of somebody with the appendage of a reverend father. And reasons I have outlined here. How can you, in one breath, you are saying that you apologize and you're reading it so slow, as if, like Onyenimo asked here, as if you are reading a script. On the other side, you go back again 3 years later. I mean, people, if it was someone who is in the world, in quote unquote, in the Christendom parlance, that somebody is in the world, if it's someone who is an atheist, if someone who never believed in Christ, if someone who is not a Christian, who is not religious, that is doing this, then there are things you may understand. But this is a man who wants you to believe that he is living a Christ-like life. A man who, is preaching forgiveness, a man who is preaching salvation, yet he asks for forgiveness pretentiously, not mean it, I then struggle to see the difference between him and the lying machine of Nigeria. Sorry, but I struggle to see that. Now, that is number one. When it comes to prophecy, and I tell you, people, and many of you who are P2B supporters or who believe in him or whatever, I don't bloody care. But I tell you this, do not be deterred, because recall the prophecy he had with Chimaroke. Eventually, who cares? Chimaroke won his senatorial seat. Recall that the same man told us in the Anambra that he has seen it, that Soludo will not be our governor. I have the video. The same man told us that Buhari was a prayer answered 7 years down the line. We are seeing how Buhari is the prayer answered. We were in the bottom. We were in the top before. Suddenly, Nigeria has gone from that same top that we were into what? Into
ABC, Nigeria, from top to bottom.
So, how can Mbaka say God have spoken to him? I say, this God where they speak, I hope it's not the type of God that speaks to me after I consume two Abaramun of up wine from Woody. I hope it's not that type of one that I suddenly begin to miss calls. I miss some calls, not like Samuel in the Bible call, but there are some calls. After you drink that one that they do not put any water, you may begin to miss some calls. But on a serious note, I struggle seriously to see and how I can, in all fairness and in all ramifications, call this person a man of God. I struggle. I honestly struggle. Having said that, now recall that he told us that Buhari was a prayer answer. We've seen it. When he now said that Buhari was not going to win the second leg of the election, when he started attacking Buhari, what's it called? Adesina, Femi Adesina, came out and told Nigerians that the reason why Reverend Fadeji Mbaka was angry was because he came to Abuja and asked Buhari for a security contract. Google it. Just Google Mbaka contract. You have a smartphone. I don't want to show you. Just Google Mbaka contract. You will see it. When he came out then, we thought, oh, well, maybe FEC, they just want to discredit him. But I think I'm having a rethink now. I'm having a rethink. Because if in his own words, why he is now attacking Peter Obi is that he prayed, and when Peter was impeached, and Peter came back, for Christ's sake, cut me. It's pure madness. Why was Peter Obi impeached when he was impeached? Anambra State government when Chris Ngige had issues with Eselne Nogoga, Chris Oba, the government house was burned. I think the bill to repair that was about 380 something million. I think the governor got to repair that with about 40 something million. Saving Anambra State money. So when the man talks about saving, it didn't start today. This was happening around 2006. And they got angry because every member of the assembly, they've already lined up how they will get their courts, be it 1 million, 2 million, or whatever. And the guy came and said, no, this is state money. We must manage it better. And that was done through direct labor. And they got angry and they impeached him. In Mbaka's words, Peter Obi came back because he prayed and put the prayer request in a Bible. So if he was an atheist, he wouldn't come back. Then you ask yourself, where is law and legality? Mbaka, you must separate yourself, church, or rather, religion and governance must separate themselves. We must not mix the two. That's why you see people now prophesying. These are businessmen, these are business enterprises, prophesying, oh, this one will happen, this one will happen, this one will happen. I recall when I was doing my father's burial in 2006, when this guy took, one prophet from Nobi then came around and was telling us how Chris Ngige was removed because he didn't listen to the prophecy. I nearly fell off my chair. This is a case of election rigging, and eventually you're caught pants down and you're being removed, and some dumb person somewhere is attributing that to his prayers and the lack of prayer thereof. Come on, people. Africa, wake up. Let our brains not be used for karo. Let us engage our brains. I do not want to, get into your spirituality and tell you that there is no God, or there is God, or there is no forces, or there is forces. Listen, people. Things in this case, especially when it comes to issue of legality, you have a good legal team. That's why you pay lawyers. But again, Nigeria is what it is. People believe all manner of crap. That's why people believe that when they cut someone's head and spill blood, blah, 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 they make money, and just, ritual killings everywhere because we believe in all manner of nonsense. Then you ask yourself, where is empiricism? Where is empirical evidence? Where is science? And where is scientific evidence in the way and manner we think? That's a conversation for another day. But let me come back to Mbaka, because I must give Mbaka a fair share of my thoughts today. Now, let me quickly bring us with what Mbaka said about Professor Chukwuma Soludo. Because in our place they say, he who cracks pan kernel with stone. If you don't count the amount of pan kernel you have cracked, the stone with which you crack the pan kernel is counting for you. You understand that? Because we are keeping tab. In this time and age, we cannot afford to just be standby and just let some of these people basically, turn stuff upside down. Now, if we go back to what he said about Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, let me see if I can play that video. If I can't, I'll see if I can play it somewhat different. I think he failed the first time. Where is that Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo? So you hear him, because I don't want someone to accuse me of misquoting, underquoting, and overquoting. I want you to hear with your own ears what he said and when he said it.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Now listen to him. The day I called Soludo, I told him, you are my very, very good friend, former governor of the Central Bank. Go ahead.
Mana ejecha ada amakwa mi hozi ganzo wuzi weru ugwu gi na ebube gi carry your prestige, your honor, your divinely acquired integrity, your professional reputation. Go to the World Bank, catch a job there. Ama no ga no kuchukwu a mana ka ma na onure ya mbasa ozo ye ga gwa okwu ye ge ya ntị. Shashwe.
Now, Soludo, in his words, that he is better off going to the World Bank and get a World Bank job. He shouldn't engage in that state politics. And obviously, was hoping, because he's also a good friend of Andiuba. If you don't know that, I'll tell you. Obviously, hoping that once, probably he goes out of the radar, it makes it much easier for Andiuba to cruise home easily in Anambra State. But sadly, Anambra State people said it's not going to happen. And they came out en masse against all odds, against all the insecurity, against all the killings, and said, no, we cast our vote, even when the turnout was very low. And today, governor of Anambra State is no other person than the prophet. Again, the prophet said he's not going to make it. Today, he is the governor. The rest, they say, is history. Now, 2 days ago, the prophet, some of you are adding some prefix to that prophet. I wouldn't join you in adding that. Okay, let me not call him what he is not. Some of you are adding some prefix to the father or reverend father. And I wouldn't join you in adding the prefix, but I will still maintain and call him Reverend Father Mbaka. But this is now what Mbaka said that is now trending. What Mbaka said about P2B. And there is another priest who then responded to him direct today. I'll show us that one as well. This is what Mbaka then said.
If you want to campaign, you should campaign without my name. And a new promise. I want to tell
Now, he took a swipe because if you recall, over the weekend, P2B was in Lagos and he worshipped with Chosen. Now he's taking a swipe saying he doesn't know if P2B is still a Catholic, just mere jealousy. And this is supposed to be a Reverend Father. As if the chosen people, if they worship Satan, or if is it not the same God? Does it matter? Anglican, Pentecostal, Methodist, whatever it is. Does it matter? And here is he taking a swipe. Oh, that you don't know that since the last time P2B came here, it just by the grace of God that this adoration did not fall. That he wanted to destroy everything, maybe because of the backlash. And in that same backlash, he hasn't even learned his lessons. He hasn't learned his lessons. Why is it behaving this way? Sorry, go on. Go ahead. I hope I hope they are not trying to spiritually no, on a lighter Now, what is you see, honestly, I feel the type of hatred, I shudder to use that word. I'm being very careful here. But the type of hatred, disdain, and dislike that he has for Peter Obi is legendary. Here he's saying, now Atiku has come to contest for president because now he's contesting without Peter Obi. Why would a reverend father go this far? Why? Why? Mbaka, why? Mbaka. This has got to, it's got to a different level. Honestly. Why are you bearing this level of grudge? Because I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. But let's quickly, play the video. Go ahead. Producers, go ahead. Is it the internet worrying us or what? Okay, let's try once more. Let no one tell me that is a spiritual nonsense. It's either with the computer or is it with the mixer or is it with the internet? I don't know. But let no one. Honestly, let's drop that level of thinking. It has absolutely nothing to do with the only thing that I can think of. It could be it's only the internet. But let's try once more. You see that Peter Obi must come to adoration ground, kneel down and apologize to him. If he doesn't come to adoration ground and apologize to him, Father Mbaka, that he is wasting his time, then please let everybody watching me and hearing the sound of my voice today help me ask Father Mbaka, why must a former governor come to the adoration ground to ask you for forgiveness? Did he take your wife? Did he take your sister? What did he do that will warrant that he will come and ask you for forgiveness? You that offended him the last time 3 years ago, you offered apology and he accepted. Now you're saying that he must come and apologize to you if he must be president. Mbaka, the one you gave us 7 years ago, the one you said God told you. All of us, we've just gone from top to bottom. And here you are, Mbaka, why? Why are you doing this? Let's listen to him more. I'll probably stop pausing it because, when I pause it, it's, it gets into trouble, I think. This thing, honestly, from the things he has said, I am somewhat disappointed because he took this thing too personal for my liking, for what a man of God, quote unquote, would do. I mean, I wouldn't, honestly, I would not ever expect that a so-called man of God would engage in such. But let me see if I take this back, if I take this out and bring it back again, if it's going to play again. I don't know. First, something is not right this evening, but let's try again.
I'm the president of each ministry. Yeah, they may be spiritual. A good old man is better than a young wicked man. You want the young, you want mention the old. All this old is too for you. Let the car know as the baby wants to go now. I'm going to look at that. I just want me to apologize to
You know, I thought, I'm choosing my words very, very carefully here. But I must say that I thought the man was smart. I thought he was intelligent. I thought he had something upstairs, but I never knew that it appears upstairs is slightly vacant. Sorry, but no offense intended. How can he open up? How can he open his mouth and say, "You can never have such person as a president that hunger will kill everybody. He is not giving out money." And I'm like, which money? State money. This is the same man, since he has left office, he goes about giving monies to schools to build for future generation. Maybe because he hasn't given them Mbaka money, cash. Maybe because he hasn't done that. Mbaka is talking like someone who has his some screws that's gone off his head. Jesus Christ, I am really, it's really hurtful to, if this is coming from someone who is not a reverend father, if this is coming from someone who is not, in the gap, someone who is not in this league, there are some things that could be, could be understandable. But here you have someone who represents.
I didn't apologize wholeheartedly. It is out of duress because I have to pay my bishop. In obedience, I have to. It's not from my volition. I did it because I'm a Catholic priest. My bishop said, do it. My own is to say, yes, my Lord.
Now, before I continue, these are the things he said. That he's saying this because of the video he saw trending. Then I thought he was smart, but it appears he's not. If he was smart, he would know that the video started trending. The video did not emanate for Peter Obi. Peter Obi didn't ask him to apologize when he apologized. Peter Obi has no control when a video trends and when a video doesn't. Peter Obi has no control in the last couple of months that his name trends every single day on Twitter. He doesn't have control of that. The trending is organic. Whatever happens with him is organic. So how come this man is then here talking about suddenly? It can only be hate. Sorry, but I know hate is a strong word, but it can only be hate and envy that will make you wake up without the man talking about you, the man that had just gone to Egypt, according to him, to understudy how they are generating electricity. Suddenly he is in Egypt. He is in Egypt, oh, Egypt, the land of the pharaohs. He is there understudying what they are doing. You are here attacking him. Attacking him for what? What is it that he has done for you? He has even the effrontery to say he has money, but he doesn't share the money. Mbaka, make your money, share your money, eat your money, however you want it. Why must it be until he gives you all his money before you become happy? Then he makes a revelation that really makes me cringe. He makes a revelation that makes me think You know, there is a cliche that other Nigerians have against Igbo to say that Igbos are their worst enemies. And I never knew that that would come from a reverend father. He makes a revelation that when Atiku picked Peter Obi, that he, Mbaka, called Atiku on the phone and said, drop Peter Obi if you want to run for this presidency. I'm like, oh. But the good thing is that even when Atiku and Peter Obi did not win the ticket, the Southeast, where Peter Obi came from, delivered and delivered handsomely. And Atiku delivered his own region the way the Southeast delivered their own region. That election, even with the rigging, wouldn't have gone the way it went. That is one thing, but again, maybe he's not so smart to also know that this was what happened. Maybe he doesn't know that.
So that picture, apology about a poisonous curse against Peter Obi. Omari ihe ke kuchere okwu a, obia ekpere ebe a sị na ya na-asịkwa na ya dị nsọ. Mana ebe ọ nọgidere, onye na-akwado ya na-atụfu ego ya. Ọ ebe o ji azụ aga. Ọ kotego. Mmadụ ya bụkwa oyi o. Ọ ga-achụpụrụ ya na gọọmenti Anambra as a gọvanọ. Peter Obi adị ndụ, ọ ma ije m chere. Jede akwụkwọ na ihe niile eji gbachide azụ. Mana amazi nke o si kwụọ m ụgwọ ya. Mana ya dịwara Chukwu. Mitin uchichi ejere eji gbachide Peter. Jụọ Ibeto Nnewi. Jụọ Eseluga. Jụọ Archbishop Anigwe Nwa. Ha ndị abụ ndị mma nọcha n'ebe a nọ wee tipụta ihe eji kpọchie Peter Obi azụ. Ndị ahụ chịkọtara akwa n'elu Baịbụl akpọchie ete ya. Jụzie Peter kemgbe ahụ ihe o ji kwuo adoreshọn n'ụgwọ ya.
Now, Mbaka has finally said why he's angry. Here, Mbaka said that when the legal counsel presented all the legal documents, he brought out the Bible and the case paper was put under the Bible and he prayed, and that's the reason he won. You see, that is what I call African nonsensical idiotic mentality 101. The legal argument, the legal presentations amounted to naught. It's only the prayer, contractor, it's only the contracted prayer that worked. Listen, reason, Jesus Christ, some of these reasons makes you sick. In modern time and age, somebody is reasoning like this, that is the legal juggernauts, the legal powerhouses that came together, put these cases together. He amounted to nothing. It's only because he prayed. Therefore, God, it's just like when we were in the higher institutions in Nigeria. One of the guys, an EFAC member, on exam day, exam night, when we have exam the next day, he will go to night vigil. And he, when he comes to lectures, his eye will be like someone who smoked Indian hemp. And we are writing about one of the GS courses, religious knowledge or whatever. And he couldn't remember Bible verses, the Bible that he shouts and disturbs everybody every day. He can't imagine. And we are laughing at him then because it was so funny. How can someone who is a born again, who disturbs you with Bible verses off heart, suddenly goes to exam and fail the exam, religious exam? And those who can barely quote one Bible, at least we were able to know that Jesus turned water into wine. That is the first miracle. Jesus turned water into palm wine. But they wouldn't know because that palm wine is sin. But how can it that a reverend father doesn't know some of these commonsensical things? And the only thing that can make a man to be sounding the way he's sounding is nothing but hatred. It's nothing but just jealousy. It's nothing but envy. That is the only thing that can make a man to sound this way. And I found that very, very appalling. Sorry, I found that very, very appalling. Mbaka, this is below you. This is below the belt, to be honest with you. Go ahead, please, if you still want to talk. Mbaka, go ahead now. Go ahead, please, if you still want to talk. Mbaka, go ahead now. Are you not angry with me that you don't want to talk again? Mm. Are you not angry with me that you don't want to talk again? Mbaka, go now. It's a lie. People will scream.
There's an altar of God that he blasphemed.
It's a lie.
He defied an altar of the Holy Spirit. I'll just be with him. I want to vote. But I'm going to go to you. Oh, my apology. Sorry for this interruption. After that apology, I called Atiku Mbaka Atiku was in Dubai. He's still alive. He picked my call. He said, "Yesterday, God bless you." I said, "God bless you, sir. Who is it?" He said, "Mbaka." "Oh, man of God, how are you?" I said, "Fine." I said, "How is the minister?" He said, "Fine." I said, "I hope there is no trouble." He said, "No." I said, "Okay, be praying for us. We are praying for you." Wednesday, please, there's a revelation on your presidential vision that you are going to be the president of Nigeria. The former one. You are going to be the president of Nigeria on one condition, that P2B will not be your vice. That P2B has merited and incurred a curse to himself, which means that you are carrying a curse. Please, as much as we love you, if you want to be the president, change him. Atiku now responded, "Father, I cannot. Father, Peter must be my president. Father, we must win. Peter will be my vice. We must win." He said, "Sorry, sir. When this vision came, you refused. And Buhari became our president. How Buhari became, I don't know. Atiku is still alive. When this message will go public, let Atiku say it's not true. That's what I'm saying. It is now that Atiku is preparing to be a president. I told him, when you become the president and Peter is your vice, call me, let me congratulate you. Oh, okay, for Waga. Just like during Jonathan, I told President Jonathan, he was my friend. Your Excellency, please, during this election, God has shown that you are our president. You are going to win Buhari, but on one condition. Also, what is it? Jega should be changed. If you change him, you will win Buhari. But if you don't, Buhari will win you. I will go now. Nobody will give you all these hidden details. Then good Lord told me, "Father, I will not remove him. We shall still win with the Jega." Ojideni Jega, Jeta. As well as Mbaka na Akwado.
Now, people, you have heard Mbaka and the things he said. You know, I think if there was any iota of respect that I did have before, they're all gone, like vanished. If there is anything that I can make out of the whole nonsense that he spewed in this video, I mean, no apologies to call them nonsense. If there is anything that I can gather from this video, I can only say to him, Mbaka, whoever becomes and whoever is the president must cut off the tie between religion and governance. So those in the office, this is the type of thing they will come with these ropes and be talking this manner of rubbish and nonsense. No wonder some of them give them brown envelope when they visit. Because if a man is not able to untie and wrap the brain and remove the thinking from such manner of nonsense, how can you then stand on your own? No wonder Peter is basically removing himself out of this rubbish from Mbaka. No wonder Peter is, because he might be looking at him when after telling him all these things, and you think, oh, maybe this guy is not taking me serious. That's why let me go ahead and keep doing my nonsense and absolute. I mean, this really irks me. This, Jesus Christ, it's painful to the ear hearing that one of those who was against the emergence of your own is your own. Hey, one of those who is against the emergence of your own is your own. Peter is stingy, yet Peter took his own private money to go to Egypt. If you haven't seen the video of Peter in Egypt, Peter will be in Egypt today, this is the video. To go and find out how we can increase our electricity, how we generate it. This is it, make it colder. Look at it here.
Module 6 is running the spoil also. Module 40 is a standby.
You see the load in this screen.
The screen. The center screen. Total load. Total load. Yeah. 1900. Out of 4,800.
The load is this screen show us all 4 modules. This module 10, module 20, module 30, 40. Module 40 all standby. Yes. Most of unit 20, we have 50% is working with steam turbine, and we have another gas turbine standby. Module 10 and module 30 is full operation. So the total now. Which one? Sorry?
The screen.
This screen.
Yeah, maybe this is the one. Yeah.
Excuse me, yes. When the speed turbine exceeds, the efficiency is also bigger than 60.
61.5. The efficiency of as a combined cycle is 61.5.
And note we're in summer, so the use of AC is high now. It's a maximum. Right now it's nearly 10 o'clock. The AC is very hot.
At the peak load.
So usually you're not even using 2,000.
So now completely Mr. Mahmoud about.
So we are in minimum load in module 10 and 20. The peak load near 4 p.m. Will be good base load for GTs and steam turbine. We are running with ACC, and this is good to provide some water. Provide a lot of water. We are running with cooling steam.
Without boring us.
Each ACC consists of 42 fans.
Without boring us with much details, the video is posted on Ginger Media. You can go back and watch the whole video. But what I wanted to show us here is, yes, Mr. Peter B is stingy. Yes, of course. Every one of us who has met him know, yes, he's a stingy man. He spends his money. I begrudge him not. I'm a man, he is a man. If I need my own money, I'm going to go freaking work out my ass and make my own money and discuss with him as equals, as a fellow man at certain level where you need to engage, and you engage at that level, not really depending on him for anything. And I can read some comments here saying that Mbaka, whatever you say against a man of, I said, listen, this is, your brains have been used. One of these guys on YouTube or on Facebook calls you some of this thinking bingo. How can somebody still be, in this day and age, because he calls himself a reverend father or whatever they are using your brains and you're not thinking along. People, wake up. But I like the angle his fellow priest came up with and responded to him in a way that gladdens my heart.
Let me be stingy. Let me be stingy like Peter Obi. Let me be stingy with my emotions so that I may not give in to envy or seek to undermine an innocent person. Let me be stingy with my time so that I may mind my own business instead of trying to destroy another person's business. Let me be stingy with my anger so that I may be like Jesus and forgive those who have offended me instead of seeking vengeance in public. Let me be stingy with my grandiloquence so that I may learn to get a grip on my tongue when I have nothing meaningful to say. Let me be stingy with my rebellion so that I may learn to obey my bishop and other superiors in line with my ordination promise. Let me be stingy with my politicking so that I may be a unifier and show respect to those who may not agree with me. Let me be stingy with my vanity so that I may choose to fly economy when I can't afford business class. Let me be stingy with my ego so that I may never play to the gallery to please those who think they own and control my destiny. Let me be stingy with my money so that I may choose to build schools and invest in the young and vulnerable instead of politicians. Let me be stingy with my overconfidence so that I may be humble enough to go to Egypt for a few lessons, and so that like Moses and Jesus, I may come back to liberate my country. Let me be stingy. Let me be stingy like Peter Obi.
You know, I so much like the response by this Reverend Father who said, let me be stingy like Peter Obi. Let me be stingy with my money, even when I can afford business or first class. Let me be stingy to fly economic class. Let me be stingy, let me be stingy. And he railed it and he railed it. And I said to him, I said, well done. Fantastic. Again, let me come back before I conclude with Father Mbaka. I think this is the longest I've done with this, because I thought, let me take time to explain this to us, so especially many of us who do not understand what is at play. In doing this, you then understand that even when Peter, for instance, like when people say that Peter has gone, or why has he gone to Egypt? What is there to learn in Egypt? And I say, let me quickly see if I can show and share with us this information here. If we can see this information, then you ask yourself, here in Egypt is a country, I'm not going to, this is not a Nigerian reportage. I'm going to show a reportage showing where Egypt, the plans Egypt has, what Egypt is about to do, something that almost no one is doing within the continent of Africa, and within the timeline that they are doing it. That is what is so impressive. Egypt. Again, some of you would read the Bible and believe in such ordinations that obviously you believe that they talked about Egypt. But if things are to be taken serious the way they ought to be taken, if you look at what Egypt is doing with 100 million population, that is the half of Nigerian population, yet they are generating 55 million megawatts. 55,000 megawatts, 55K, right? So if they're generating 55K, and as of yesterday, Nigeria is transmitting 2,435, according to Egu Disco. It's not up to what is 2 cities should be using. A whole nation, a whole giant, working on mosquito limb is making do with 2,400 plus. A people that when Professor Nebo was living, what they handed over 8,000, and rather than increase, We have decreased to a point that sometime, I think 2 days ago, we went under 1,000 for the first time. Sometimes the national grid total collapses. Everybody's running on NEP, or everybody's running on gen like a congregation of mad people. Listers here, as if it's choir. Listers, the one that are sound, what they call soundproof, are there doing the big generators, like the ones they use in grinding maize. They're doing chuku, 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 chuku. And the small, I passed my neighbor there, then the medium sizes are all there. Everybody's smoking hot. Everybody. And the man goes to Egypt to go and understudy something they are doing, and everybody is then there. Many of us are just there antagonizing, saying, why did he go to Egypt? We could have gone to a kid. Look, if electricity is solved today in Nigeria, listen, half of Nigerians living abroad will come home. Businesses will be created. The greatest impediment we have that even makes us and leads us not having security. Don't you know that crime can be prevented as somebody is at home watching DSTV? If your brain cannot do anything, even if it's BP Niger, watch. But when light is there, you can make money with your phone, you can make money with your laptop, you can learn how to code, you can attend school online. But today, how can you do that? Everybody has to go into using generator. And you tell me Nigeria has
ABC Nigeria from top to bottom. Top to bottom.
Nigeria indeed has gone from top to bottom. But before I close on this particular angle, let me quickly bring this video because I believe this is going to be the wrap up for this. You will see what Egypt is doing and why. Again, this is not emulating America, UK, any other country. The countries that are in Africa, why can't we emulate them? Like Egypt. Watch this and see what Egypt is doing. Tell me why we cannot do better than
Government is planning to settle hundreds of slum dwellers into these newly constructed apartments. It's part of state plans to build new homes to replace crumbling slums. Mohammed is among beneficiaries.
We were living a very difficult life. Our husbands weren't really aware of it, but I had to fetch water from a far place. I had to climb steep steps just to get water. I was very exhausted. But here the best thing that we have in our new home is access to a glass of water. This is the best thing.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi promised last month to move all those living in unsafe slums to new flats over the next 3 years in an ambitious project expected to cost $1.6 billion. The first two phases of Taya Misri were completed in 11 months and comprised 12,000 flats. The third phase is said to be completed in 2017, bringing the number of flats to 20,000. The completed complex is expected to house 100,000 people.
The houses that have broken walls and falling ceilings are being demolished and then rebuilt as they were before as a temporary solution. This is just until those who live in higher risk areas are all moved to new homes.
But not all residents are happy with the upgrades.
My house collapsed 26 or 28.
Anyway, the story is being told here. These people in Egypt, they have taken $1.6 billion as loan, and they are utilizing it, and you can see what they are doing with it. To build 12,000 flats. 12,000 flats. By 2027, when it's 12,000 flats is already built. That's done within 3 years. By 2027, they would have had 20,000 flats, and that would have housed 100,000 people, 100,000 people, 100,000 human beings, 100,000 human. Just wrap your head around it. Proper housing or proper housing. Sadly, that the video didn't play well. proper housing, like where human beings live, not slums, not our Lugbe kind of structure. Proper housing. And you tell me you shouldn't go there and understudy what they do. Please, Peter, when you come back, always also remember to go to Rwanda. Also remember to go to Botswana. How can we not do these things and we want a better place where people are prophesying to us? Where NEPA, power holders, or rather, as I prefer to call them, power holders, because they're holding the power to themselves. Where the power holders, you come to their office, they are using generator. Power generator. I know I go to my local PSCN to recharge my prepaid meter in the village. I go to a Ekulo. You come in there. Their ceiling is turning. The ceiling fan is turning. A generator that is chained to something is there, powering PSCN. This is where we, where people are, and people are not angry enough to know that those who are doing this are nothing but a bunch of distractors. No one cares. And someone uses his money to say, okay, let me go and actually understand. These people don't have two heads. What is it that they are doing? What is it that they are doing that we cannot do? These are fellow Africans. This is not about, oh, maybe this person is in Europe or this. This is fellow Africans. Now look at this. Look at this statistic here. Look at this information here. Let me increase this. Oh, sorry, it would be too much. Now, this is best African countries to invest in. In 2014, look at it here. In 2014, as highlighted, you can see that South Africa was number 1, Nigeria number 2, Ghana number 3, Morocco number 4, Tunisia number 5, Egypt number 6, Ethiopia number 7, Algeria, Rwanda, and Tanzania. Now, fast forward, Buhari took over in 2015. Oh, I'm not insinuating anything. No, it is your own problem. But fast forward to 2021, 6 years after Buhari, Egypt is now number 1. And you don't want to know what Egypt did to move from number 6 to number 1. You must be an idiot not wanting to know. The same way he came in, the governor, then as a governor in 2006, Anambra State in WAEC ranking was 27. 27. No, if you don't want to know, what can you do to get your people to move from number 27 to number 10 or number 5 or number 1? But from the things he did, Anambra State did not land in number 7, did not land in number 10. Anambra State became number 1. It was only in 2014, that Imo State and Abia State started competing. All you will see, if Imo State knocks Anambra State off, Anambra will land on number 2, Abia will number 3. If Abia State knocks off, become number 1, either Imo or Anambra land number 2 or 3. These 3 states in the southeast were between 2011-12, because you knew there was competition. Someone had done a magic, and every other person became interested, wanting to know what is it that this man is doing. Look at it. This data don't lie. Egypt became number 1, Morocco number 2. Now tell me where the first 10 Nigeria has dropped. From number 2, Nigeria has disappeared. And you tell me, when people say we've gone from top to bottom, even your president singing it, that is not true, that we have indeed gone from top to bottom. We haven't gone from top to bottom. If that doesn't get you, really, really angry, that you can see nations moving ahead of us and we are all just there. All we talk about is Boko Haram, UGM, bandits, cow, just unnecessary things. And don't
ABC, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
left. I will do report. Everything is not funny. They will play report. I play like this. My neighbor press fall. Please don't be fall apart.
ABC Nigeria.
So everything done they fall apart.
ABC Nigeria.
But everything done they fall apart. But be that as it may, I will quickly be rounding up. I will quickly be rounding up now. But before I do, I want to show us the moment Atiku Abubakar selected. If you go to Njenje Media, there is a fantastic article written by Charles Ogu. He called Mbaka. He called him the pulpit Buccaneer. It's a very choice of word there by Charles Ogu. It's give it to him. And that's, I believe, Charles Ogu is also from Enugu, so let no one. Actually, let me see if I can share that article on the comment section. Just in the next couple of minutes, you hopefully see that article in the comment section. You can go to Njenje Media and read it. That article is written by Charles Ogu and it's called Mbaka, the Pulpit Buccaneer. Charles Ogu. On that, I wrap up and then go and bring Atiku as Atiku picks Okowa. I know that sometime last year, there was a time Wike was saying he wouldn't accept the VP. In his usual way of talking, he said it. But again,
that you will not.
I will not, and I said it. I will never
seek.
I will not even. It's not in the dream. I've never done any day, and that thing will come.
To be vice president.
I will not. How will it be? The vice.
So Wike now, because Wike obviously didn't want to be vice president, then Atiku Abubakar had gone ahead and picked Okowa, the governor.
Decision that I am called upon to take, but I'm not afraid of taking difficult decisions. But as someone hoping to lead a complex country such as ours, tough and difficult decisions will remain a part of my everyday life. Let me therefore start this momentous journey with a crucial decision about who among the eminently qualified shortlists will be my running mate. Accordingly, let me state that the person I have chosen as my running mate possesses those identified qualities. He personifies not only the seriousness the current moment represents for our country, but also the future that our young people yearn for and also deserve. He is a serving governor who has demonstrated in his state and through his conduct that governance is about service to the people. I know that he will not only add excitement to our already energized ticket and campaign, but will also help to bring focus, discipline, and stability to our government come 2023. I am pleased, therefore, to announce here my choice of running mate who will help to lead us to victory next year, not only in the presidential election, but also in the governorship and legislative elections. And he will be by my side as I work hard every day to provide our people with security, revive our economy, improve education, and unite our country. He has both legislative and executive experiences. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the ticket the next Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Governor Ifeanyi Arthur Okowa.
So you see, Dr. Senator Ifeanyi Chukwu Okowa is now officially Atiku's running mate for the 2023 presidential race. Now, tomorrow, we are expecting that the remaining major 3 political parties will be making the announcement tomorrow. That APC, who is likely to pick Gandola, the dollar man, the dollar stuffing man. You see, Gandola will be dollar meet dollar, bullion van meet dollar. So now it will no longer be this dollar he was stashing in Agbada will no longer go in Agbada. The dollar will now be in bullion van. Nigeria, then you people would enjoy the government more, because in the people like Mbaka that have been complaining that Peter Obi is stingy, he doesn't give them money, I believe he will now have where he will go and take his own dollar. Maybe when there's his own long rope, maybe they can sew internal pockets. This is the moment people want to get his
Congratulations, Your Excellency. Congratulations.
So at this point, you can see Atiku Okowa accepted his, being the running mate to, to the man in question. Now, people, I will say at this juncture, thank you very much for being part of this podcast and analyzing this issue with Mbaka and Atiku here. Tomorrow is Friday, and tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock, join me. We will have our Friday hangout. Recall that our Friday hangout is normally a relaxed atmosphere where we treat serious issues with some level of humor. So when you join me for your Friday hangout, ensure that you come with something. It could be red wine, white wine, Paulana, anything that is drinkable, be it water, coffee, tea, it doesn't matter. But do not join me tomorrow, please. Do not join me tomorrow, 7 o'clock, without having anything to drink. You will be breaking the rule. And if you break the rule, we will send you to the other room. And if we send you to the other room, you are likely to go from top to bottom. On that note, I say, everyone, thank you once more. I am still your host, Mazezoke. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, if you've been watching me for so many years and so many months and weeks, and you haven't subscribed to this platform, please, 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 I beg you, subscribe, click on the bell icon for notification, and share this stream. Share. Let YouTube know that this is happening. Share now that I've made that decision with your help. Yesterday, we collective as people of this platform decided that there should be daily stream by 7 p.m. unless there is something so important and urgent that crops up. But let's meet here every Saturday, 5 days a week. Saturdays we do have State of the Igbo Nation, and on Sundays we do have State of the Nation. That is national, and Saturdays are normally for regional conversation. On that note, I say, may Nigeria no longer be from top to bottom, but from bottom.
ABC, Nigeria, from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom.
This one is tumbling. I'm water. Everything is not funny. They will play before. I play. My neighbor press.